This is my personal quote and blog for the 14th of October, 2022. My quote for today: "We take what the universe offers. Too often, corporations control the coffers. There are those that know how to take what is not theirs. They demand much more than their fair shares. We live in a world where too many have deep rage inside. They lash out at a world that continues to divide. It is not about what one can get in this world. It is about learning to let love grow and uncurl from our hearts in such a way that we finally end hunger and dismay." And my blog for today: I had an amazing time with my friends. Many I had not seen in over 17 years. It's funny how the universe sets a course and pulls us away from one reality to deal with the next set of karmic lessons. And at those times, those forces are demanding and insistent. Then, as one's life ends and one's life begins again within the same life, we learn to trust and recognize those that are spiritual family to us. And that love brings things back into the light, and we get to reconnect from the place of sharing of the journey and the lessons learned. How often do we need to learn lessons alone or engage with those with which we have those next karmic lessons? But spiritual family will always remain as part of our foundation for growth and change. Before I left my trip, I had the most amazing sound healing session. It's like you use Tibetan bowls and everything, with my dear friend Christy. She and I share the history of being dancers in the professional way, and because of that, we understand each other on this really deep cellular level that only dancers communicate from. Between dancers, there is a bond that is deeper than blood, that connects us and that passes from one time into another. We had gone to dinner the night before, and she asked me, "Suzanne, have you ever found anything to be able to replace ballet?" And I looked at her honestly and I said, "No, nothing is ever like the life of a performer." In such huge performances, we are surrounded by the best costumers, best stage designers, the best musicians, the best lighting designers, the best sound technicians, the best dancers, and we are all working in harmony with each other to manifest something of great creative genius and intend to share the wonder of that with the world, with its ideas, its hopes, its dreams, its goals, with the audience. We intend to take audiences beyond the upsets of their daily life and into a potential that hopefully humanity can eventually embrace. There's nothing like feeling of being in front of hundreds or thousands of people. It is something that places us completely and utterly at our edges. We strive for a moment of transcendent glory, a moment when something larger than ourselves takes over, and we pulse with a universal flow and light that shares the divinity that we are and the artistic subtlety that fuels passions and dreams. You could see she was grateful for that truth, as hard and as disappointing as it was to hear. But she got it. She knew I was telling her the truth. She also knew it inside, but did not want to admit it. None of us do. As an artist, you're supposed to never give up. It's not in our makeup as an artist. Art is always pushing the boundaries. Art always searches for the next way to gift ideals to humanity or to show another way to see life. The next day, she was going to do a sound healing session on me. I was so excited. I had done a lot of this type of work in the 1990s, and I actually had all the chakra bowls, the crystal chakra bowls. They're awesome. And I love them, and I use them on myself often. But there was a moment that I knew those bowls were to belong to another to support their growth and journey. As with many things in life, you're supposed to give them away. So now I'm having a session with Christy, and she places the bowls on my ankles, calves, thighs, lower pelvis, middle pelvis, heart, and head. The sound comes through and it vibrates the cells of my body and shakes off the discordant energy. As the sound opens me, the sound starts coming out of my mouth, but it's weird. It's sort of like energetically moving out my heart, but it's also coming out my mouth. And then she starts toning, and the sounds we co-created with the bowls created a completely different sound. The bowl was a G sharp, but the sound in the room was not a note but a concordance of sounds that opened like a wormhole of sorts, and it transported me back to the sound temples of Atlantis. Suddenly, I'm sitting in a sound temple with her. She is opposite me, and she and I are creating harmonies that commingle in the center of the room where we were reaving DNA. I know that sounds ridiculously arrogant, but that's what I saw. Then I started crying. She was crying, and something magically unfolded and enveloped us in the memory of another dimension in time. I could see that sound has the ability to create dimensional doorways that can move forward and backwards in time. Then she took some angel chimes and started making this childlike fairy sound with them. And it pushed me back to those places when I was very young, those moments before life's harsh lessons invade and try to break down the pure light and innocence that each of us hold. And I cried. I remembered the innocence of myself and all of us that we have been through, and that all of us have been through this exact same thing. It was a time to reclaim that innocent part and allow her to be with all of my life experiences and allow that integration to happen, and with wisdom and love. It was a fabulous experience. It was a divine moment that shifts the fibers of time and space, and it alters your cells on the inside. May all have such moments, and may all find the integration that can happen through the processes of healing, sound, and light. Thanks, everyone.